to eat an olive and think, ooh, I like that. You might be olive people, but not rhubarb people. You might be pumpkin people, but not spaghetti people. But what is it, that certain combination of foods and activities and sensitivity to color, to sound, and so forth? Think of it as God's gifts to you. Your Creator was a gift giver. Let me give another example from personal time. A couple years ago, I gave Vicki a digital camera. I didn't know anything about digital cameras. I knew she wanted one, and I knew she talked about possibly getting one. So I went to the camera store, Best Buy. There were 4 different brands of cameras. And I listened to the explanations, and none of them made any sense, but I said, I'll take that one. And it worked. It worked. She could use it. She enjoyed using that camera. And when I watch her use the digital camera, I think, good job. She likes the gift that I gave her. And that makes me happy to think that what I had given her was something that created joy. And I took joy in seeing it used. God's gifts to you, He likes to see used. Imagine giving somebody a gift that you really you enjoyed giving it to them, and it sits there and they never open it. It remains wrapped, and they just aren't interested in opening it up or seeing what it is. Or they open it up and look at it and just never use it. It just sits there. How would that make you feel? Now, the point of this, and the reason I wanted to talk to this group about that, is your college years are absolutely the best time you will ever have to discover what your gifts are, to explore and open packages that have been sitting there and you've never known what they were. This is the whole purpose of the Liberal Arts College, the campus, is to give you the opportunity to find out what is it that gives you joy. What is it that when you do it, you feel God's pleasure? And how do you find out what those things are? So use these years to explore things you've never done before, that you don't know if you'd enjoy or not, but at least willing to try them out. How many have ever thrown a pot? Ceramics? Pottery wheel? Okay, try it sometime. You too can make the world's ugliest pots if you really work on it for a while. Scuba diving. We have a scuba diving teacher in the back of the class. Monday nights, they go down and stay underwater for hours. Come up, if you've ever wanted to be a manatee, this is the closest you can ever come. Line dancing. That's not hard. Try it out. International students. There is no reason you should go to Graceland University and not have a chance to experience numerous international students. A language. Try to learn something in their language. Try something about their foods. If you get a chance for an internship, create your internship. What is it that I would like to try out and see if I'm good at it, see if it's something I enjoy. Now, not everything that you try is going to be something you're going to enjoy, but you're going to find things about yourself that you didn't know before, and those things you ought to cultivate, you ought to develop, and make them part of your life. When Vicki and I lived in Ames, we were the sponsors for the Liahona group, the college group, and one time we went on a weekend retreat, and the weekend retreat was on careers. And the point that I remember, and I've remembered ever since, was the instructor said, the hardest thing about finding the right career is to find what you want to do. What you want to do that really gives you satisfaction. How do you find someone to pay you to do it? That's the trick in careers. Don't look at the jobs that are open and then stuff yourself into the one that seems least oppressive. But really get active about what is it I like to do, and then how can I find someone to pay me to do that? So that when I go to work and do what I most love doing, I will feel God's pleasure as I do it. There's a Robert Frost poem about two tramps in mud time, and it's about this man in New England who is chopping wood. He really likes to chop wood. It's a sunny day, and the wood is splitting very nicely as he's bringing his axe down on it. But here come two tramps, two out-of-work men, probably 1930s, and one of them says, "I'd be glad to do that if you pay me to do it." And the man thinks, okay, this guy has a better claim to doing this because he needs to do the work, but I really hate to give it up. And in the course of thinking through that, he comes to this conclusion, that the object in living is to unite my avocation with my vocation, as my two eyes make one in sight. Your vocation is what you do for a living. Your avocation are your hobbies and whatever. And he says what we need to be doing is figuring out whatever our vocation is should be the same as our avocation. So that whatever we're doing, we're doing it out of a sense of joy, and that we be doing it whether we're paid or not. In life, all good things come from God. All the gifts that you've been given, all the capacities you have to enjoy things, each of those little individual, unique, those idiosyncratic things that are just you in the combination, the good gifts that you have come from God. So how do you discover what your joy givers are and what your capacities are to enjoy things, and be grateful to God? If you like olives, thank God that you like olives, and be grateful that you have been created with that capacity. And then think, how do I incorporate more of those joy givers into my life? How do I make my life so that in the ordinary course of things, I am doing things that give me joy? What do you do to feel God's pleasure? It isn't that your religious activities over here or where you deal with God, and then there's the rest of the day. If you can see who you are as God's gift to you, then when you do the things that you enjoy doing, you get a sense that God is happy with that God feels the pleasure that you feel along in doing that, and you will feel God's pleasure the way Eric Little felt when he runs. Tis a gift to be simple. Tis the gift to be free. Tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. The gifts. You want to make God happy? Discover what your gifts are and use them. And when will you see God? When will you meet God? And when have you seen Him in your life? It's when you use the gifts that He has given you and you feel the pleasure that God feels in seeing you become the person that He created you to be.